Severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS for short, is a respiratory illness related to the coronavirus. The first case with SARS was in Asia, and it has later spread all around the world. The source of the virus remains unknown, but many believe the virus came from bats and then was later transmitted to humans. It is spread through close contact between people and is highly contagious. It is easy to carelessly spread the disease because it takes 2 to 7 days for the first symptoms to appear. There are 2 strains of the virus, SARS coronavirus 1 and then SARS coronavirus 2. People believe that the second one, SARS coronavirus 2, is far more contagious than the first. Though many aspects of this virus remain unknown, many are hopeful that more effective measures will be taken once more information comes out.
Very similar to the coronavirus that we are dealing with now, SARS symptoms often include fever, chills, shaking, dry cough, shortness of breath, as well as muscle aches. The people that are at most risk for this infectious disease are the elderly as well as those who have chronic hepatitis B disorder. The lungs and gastrointestinal tract are the only organs that actually support the replication of the SARS coronavirus. Therefore, the disease targets these areas, often resulting in organ failure. It spreads through air droplets when an infected person sneezes or coughs, as well as if an infected person touched an object, such as a doorknob, and then another individual touched that surface. We highly recommend that you frequently wash your hands before and after going outside in an effort to limit the spread of this infectious disease.
Unfortunately, no medication has been proven to treat SARS effectively. However, patients can still recover from this deadly disease. Patients often need oxygen therapy, which is the use of supplemental oxygen because SARS damages the ability of the body to take up and use oxygen. On the more severe end of cases, tracheal intubation, which is the placement of a flexible plastic tube into the windpipe to maintain open airway or serve as a conduit through which drugs can be administered, and mechanical ventilation, which is a machine that helps patients to breathe when they cannot on their own, are necessary to support life until recovery begins. Doctors that care for patients afflicted with SARS must follow strict sanitary policies to avoid infection, which includes the usage of gloves, masks, gowns, and other measures. All disposable gear must be discarded by the caregiver, and their hands must be cleaned with soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer after each visit, so as to not infect other susceptible patients and put them in danger. To prevent more cases, officials of public health recommend isolation for anyone afflicted with the disease during the recovery process. Research on a SARS vaccine is ongoing, most of which is on the chemical pathways within the virus itself that may serve as a vehicle for drugs to treat it.
The 2002 to 2004 SARS outbreak was an epidemic that was first identified in Guangdong, China in November of 2002. It later affected 8,000 people from 29 different countries, and at least 774 people died worldwide. The country that was most heavily impacted was China, where 5,327 people were infected and 349 people died. In the early stages of the outbreak, public officials began informing the citizens of China that this outbreak is serious, which frightened many around the world. On February 8th, reports about a deadly flu began to be sent around through messages on mobile phones in Guangzhou. The other countries where transmission occurred was Toronto in Canada, Hong Kong's Special Administrative Region of China, Chinese Taipei, Singapore, and Hanoi in Vietnam. Currently, no areas of the world are reporting the transmission of SARS. The outbreak has led to socio-economic disruption and the postponement or cancellation of several sporting and cultural events in affected areas. Since the end of the global epidemic in July of 2003, SARS has reappeared only 4 times, 3 times from laboratory accidents and once in southern China.